Okay, just very quickly going to do a sound check. And we've got sound, which is fantastic. So, good evening, everyone, or good evening, good morning, in fact. Depends when you're watching, I suppose. And welcome to the Flight Sim Show's review of the Aeroprakt A-32 Vixxen, which has been brought to us by Got Friends. So the platform at the moment, we're looking at this on PS5. I am aware that it's been available on other marketplaces. However, it is only just dropped recently on PS5. Currently priced at around £22. Okay, so it is a little bit expensive. It is a little bit on the expensive side for a what I think is a GA aircraft, but it's cheaper than the Just Flight 146. It's cheaper than the Vulcan. It's the same price as the Caravan. So in terms of pricing on the sim, it's kind of around the average price mark. However, my first thought at £22 for a general aviation aircraft is a little bit steep. However, I have flown this previously. Just wait till the end till I'll give you my thoughts on that. We're going to be testing this version. I have paid for the rental of this, so where there is a rental, I will go and rent it out before I buy it. Just because what I don't want to do is get away with £25, £30, £60, which is in this case for an aircraft that I don't actually enjoy and don't like. So I have got it on the rented version. So we're gonna have a look and actually see if it's worth the money and see what we think. There's been no developer input into this feed, and like I said, I did have a little fly of it last night. So let's talk about what you get for £22. So going into the actual aircraft itself, the marketplace has obviously a nice little picture. It's quite highly rated at the moment by 13 people, rated at 4.5, with visuals, technical quality and realism being quite high. Is there anything else on this? You can see that it's not had any 1 stars. It's had 1 2-star, 2 3 stars, and the rest 5 stars. So it gives you obviously the standard information here about the aircraft. It tells you as well that it's actually got a hand-built airfield as well at 5018. So we'll go there and we'll fly it there. This custom scenery is included on all platforms and is used in real training on the actual Vixxen. Both the aircraft and its operating environment have been recreated authentically so the simulator can serve as a true training platform. So we'll have a go. So with this, you have a cruiser, the Explorer, the Pioneer, and the Voyager types, and you've obviously got a modern glass digital display cockpit and the fairings and the mudguard options. So the Tundra tyres being obviously the big bulky ones, I believe. Including career mode support for first flight, light cargo, private charter service, ferry flight, and flight seeing. You can see here it says ferry flight, flight seeing, charter service. So doesn't say about light cargo there. It says in the description light cargo, but it doesn't tell you here it's light cargo. So it's something worth looking at before we actually, if you want to use this for career mode. And it is got a bonus that it is career mode applicable as well, which is a bonus. Okay, as part of the feature lists, we see it's got that the upgrade, high quality 3D model, so they're boasting 4K and HD textures, accurate model with electrical system simulation, 12 factory inspired hand painted liveries, custom Rotax sound pack with headphone simulation, glass cockpit, analog cockpit, the optional support here, the Tundra standard tyre variants, full multiplayer visual support, removable doors, tablet EFB, covers, chocks, AOA indicator, and gear accessories, and then it tells you a little bit more about it. And then it says, which is always nice, if you want to contact the support, you can do it there. Now I have been onto the Got Friends website and I have downloaded a manual. There is a flight manual. It's quite a well detailed flight manual, nice little picture on the front, tells you what they're offering, gives you the 5018 history, tells you what it's going to include as well. And then it gives you a nice map around the virtual cockpit. Now what I like on here, unlike some developers, is they've actually integrated their full checklist into the EFB. So they state on here that it is been quite heavily EFB driven. There is a statement here somewhere that I did read, which is really good. Whereas if I go down to the checklist side, so yeah, for 2024 it says it's been fully designed around the simulator's EFB, offering interactive step-by-step procedures at any phase of flight with automatic item highlighting and process tracking, which is really good. And it gives you a disclaimer. Basically, career mode compatibility is down to the in-place marketplace version. So basically, they're saying they haven't got control of it. It's down to Asobo, Sony, Microsoft, etc. to tell you. So with this, then it doesn't. The actual flight manual, it doesn't give you the checklist inside it. So you have to trust the game, the EFB one. What I have noticed is yesterday when I flew this, I tried doing it on a real-world manual, and they did differ. Okay, so the real-world pilot operating handbook that I found for this aircraft from Aeroprakt was a little bit different. However, because what I actually did do in yesterday's flight is I leant more towards the EFB, because I did find that, for example, the pilot operating manual doesn't tell you to select your fuel levers, however the EFB does. Checklist supplied, as I said, is all immersive and all been put into the EFB. Known limitations, none at the moment, and there is developer support. And the aircraft is actually aimed, I would say, probably at both the casual enemy and hardcore simmer. So for me, a bit of flying history, much engineering orientated, very much realism orientated. Yeah, and it was quite easy to set up and quite easy to fly. So let's go to that airfield then. I think it was 5018. Let's see if it works. 5018. Let's see if it was that one. No, so it must have been a 0. It looked like an O. Let's try it. 5018. There we go. So it's got an intersection as opposed to an airport. We can have a look. So that's not it. Let me have another look at the flight manual and see what it says. Cars. Let's go back into that manual. Where's that? Where is it? .5018 it says 5018. So let's try again. 50. Is it I8 or 1? It could be an I8. There we go. McKnight Johnston. Let's just make sure that is right. McKnight Airfield. Yep. So we'll go there, and we'll set it up in the parking space. There we go. Parking 1. So this is the one that comes with the aircraft, and we'll set it to daytime. There we go. So we'll set it at daytime. Looking into this, let's have a quick look at what we can get. So we've said that there is various configurations. So there they are. We're going to go with the digital version today, and we'll go for the Tundra tires. So we're going to go for the glass cockpit and liveries. They said they got 12. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there is 12, which is good, and they all look pretty cool. We're going to go with the Ranger version today. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, nice and green. Or do we go with the Predator? We'll go Predator. There we go. That looks pretty funky. And we'll start up at the McKnight Airfield, which again, like I've said, was also designed by Got Friends. So, as we load up into this airfield, I'm expecting it to be quite nice. I won't spoil it too much about the aircraft at the moment, but I expect the scenery and the livery of this airfield to be quite good, based on the Got Friends, what I've read and what I've seen so far. Just bear in mind the Got Friends they're the ones that have made that buggy, so the new buggy that's in the game. And they also made, I think, the Jetson. Let me just check before I fill you with rubbish. So in the sim they've made the Vixxen, the Crosscart, the Astro 1 was the other one they've made. They've also made various other aircraft like a discus glider. They've made a couple of gliders actually. Wilga, the Mini 500 helicopter, a double ender, LX Family Suite, and AS-33 glider. So they've made quite a few here by the look of it. Now look at this. Okay, that's just obviously the camera angle. So first of all, let's have a look at where we are. So this is a small little airfield. Here, let's run. Little pushback trolley. So let's have a look at the details that they've put in here. So nice little quad. Obviously everyone knows that it's usually at the small airfields it's a quad that's used to take the aircraft around. So this is the Gottfriend's own scenery. Nice little hangar and building. What's over here? Some cars in the car park. Little tractor at the back. Little trailer. Cool. So again, look at the detail just here alone. Little ladder and bucket and mop. Be interested to see what this looks like in real life. Little maintenance garage. Oh, a door open. Let's see. Can we get in? Yeah, we can go in. Nothing to see. So again, I think it's really important that when a developer also offers a scenery, it's also very important that you actually take that into account as well. There's the tractor. Again, look at the detail on this. 30 wheels. Like even just that, look, just a bit of mud on the wheels. It makes, no, straight away, before we even look at the aircraft, looking at the detail on this and what they've put in, it does look really good. Here's another little tractor. Even the detail on this, they don't need to put this in there, do they? Let's be honest. But they have done. They've added more to it, and you do get the free scenery. You hear the sounds in the background from around. You've got the aircon unit there. Okay, it doesn't look... Oh, there we go. Now it's rendered. Yeah, that looks fine. What does that say on it? The BJ hub. Okay. Nice little house plant there. And then obviously you've got the other building over here. So, first impressions. Oh, look, you've got animals in the field as well. Be interesting to see where they go up to, where the boundary is, but we'll have a little fly around in a minute. What we should have done is got the cart in and had a look. Right, anyway, we're here to look at this aircraft, so let's have a look. So, we'll start at the front, and we'll go... And we've got the PO mass cover as well, which is quite nice. And we'll have a look. So, anyone that knows me knows that I like details. So we'll start at this wing. So, let's have a look at the nav lights. Get into camera mode so we can see. Oh, this is going to be awkward. We'll come out if we can. No. Okay, I need to do a little bit of work with the camera mode. But the nav light looks... It's obviously an LED light, which is nice. Coming across to the textures. Nice camber in the wing. Nice teardrop shape. You got the actual aileron levers here. Okay, let's get in and underneath and have a look. How do I zoom? I can't remember. Right, I'm going to stop using that mode because I don't know how to use it. Okay, the struts coming down. Little tie down loops as well, which is a nice little feature. Looking at the tyres, these are the Tundra tyres, the big bulky ones. Going to need it for my landing. Obviously they're saying they're new, and they do look new. It'd be interesting to see in career mode if they do carry on acquiring dirt. Okay, looking at rivets, I like looking at the rivets and the screws. They look all very good and very real. None are corroded, so I'm going to assume this is a brand new aircraft straight out of the factory. Bottom strut. I'll show you something in a minute that I think is pretty cool, but I have to be inside the aircraft to be able to do it. You can see the small suspension there, the small little spring, and the shock absorber. The paintwork here, again, good quality paintwork. The door, so you can open the door. There we go. And I think you can actually take these doors off. I've read somewhere you can take them off, so we can have a look at that in a bit. But the door's pretty cool, nice little feature. Again, we've already had a look at the shock strut on the other end and the undercarriage on the other end, on the other side. But the detail is actually really nice and really good. We'll have a look at the flapper-ons. So again, they're linked. You see one goes up, one goes down. Elevator. You see the trim tabs on it as well. That range of movement. The trim tabs here, you've got the little trim tab lever. Let's have a look at the detail in that. Yeah, look at that. That's quite nice. Rudder. Get a nice smooth movement as well. That looks pretty cool. So outside, the exterior actually looks really, really nice. We've had a look at the oleos. There's no hydraulic lines in this, but it looks smart. Okay, the animations are good. The weathering, again, I'd like to see it a little bit more weathered, maybe. We'll see what it's like when I get down, after I've nearly crashed it into the ground as I'm landing, to see whether it actually takes on weathering during the flight. For example, whether when we taxi through here, whether there's going to get any mud on the tyres. That'll be interesting. The undercarriage, it does, and again, this is more the engineering side of me. The engineering around this looks good. The doors and panels move correctly, and the pipes and cables and everything that I've seen so far looks good. When you look at the actual the PO mast as well down here, looks really rather realistic as well with the dual pipes there. So enough about that. Let's get in and have a look, see if we can get in from the outside. Now if I click here, if I click on the seat, it lets me enter it. Perfect. So we'll leave the door open for a moment. Now what I saw yesterday is these clips. If I click onto the seat belt, I can actually get out. Click back in, but you can actually exit the aircraft by opening your seat belt. Now when we look at the detail in here, look at the detail of the buckles. So again, these are real to life. Come back down, the detail in the buckles, the detail in the quick release of the seat belt. I wish that blue wouldn't show up. And then the details of the seat. It is really detailed. Like, look at that, every last stitch. And there is a little bit of dirt on here as well, which is nice. So again, when we look at the weathering on the inside, I'd expect to see a little bit more weathering on the outside, but it all looks good. Nice no step with the bolts and rivets here. And then again, if we go up to, we should be able to go up to these control linkages now. Again, they look quite realistic here. Again, it's a little bit, the rendering there is a little bit poor, but who's going to be looking here? Who cares what these look like? But it is generally so far really nice aircraft. Coming into the back here, the little stowage for your bits and pieces. Again, you've got the seatbelt supports here with the bolts and the straps, and you've got the component shelf here. What's this say? Luggage compartment. So can we open that? Don't know if it opens, or have you just put it on there? You must just put it on there, because I can't imagine that. Well, there is a little bit of a thing. So does that open? No. Okay, so that could open in reality. I don't think it would have been hard for them to put that in to open, but never mind. That's one little thing that we picked up. Okay, coming forward for the cockpit then. Obviously you've got the door handles, which are quite nice. You've got the little signs there. Underneath the seats, you've got the tie downs, because you've got storage under there. So I can imagine if you loosen that up, you can lift up the seats and slap some maps or something, or some water or whatever underneath there. And then coming through, we've got the yaw pedals. If we give them a little bit of a movement there, you can see that the linkages all work as well, and that's what we expect to see. Look at that. So really good detail there. And the same with the yoke. If we push the yoke forward, you can see it's got its everything in there as well, which is cool. So all the movements, that exactly what I'd expect to see on a small aircraft. So that's really good. And again, we'll go forward and back on the control lever. Okay, little map stowage here for your notebook. So let's see what happens here, because it's got a little thing. We can click the notebook out and have a look at it. There we go. So aircraft covers and wheel chocks, can we tick those? Yep, we can. There you go. Oh, and it gets you out to actually have a look at it. So we did take those out. We'll go back inside. Aircraft covers, check. See if it takes us back outside. There it does. And it puts them back on. There we go. So interactive checklist as well from the notepad. Again, that's, oh god, it's going to put them all back in. There we go. It's only 3. But again, a nice little touch from them here. Additional tablet, AOA indicator. What's that going to do? It's just to check, I think. Although, did that make it disappear then? It made it disappear. Hang on. Yeah, look, it's getting rid of it. The AOA indicator's there. So you can actually select them here. So the additional tablet, these are actually, you can remove the cabin doors. There we go, gone. I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll fly without doors today. We'll have a little bit of, it's quite a warm day. Gear accessories. So again, we're looking down here and you've got the gear accessories here, if we turn those off. Gone. So we'll leave it like that as well. That is pretty good. Tail registration, AOA indicates the tail registration is obviously up here. We can turn that off. Let's turn that off. Don't need that. Or is that at the back? Or is that at the back? No, that's at the back. But we'll put that on. Aircraft got to have it displayed, so. Cool. Okay, let's have a look at the inside. So, as in the cockpit and the dash. So the windows, the glass, you've got a good little bit of reflection there. Again, that's quite realistic. As we can move around, that moves around. The good detail on the dash here, and then coming down to the displays and the switches. If we have a look at how they rotate, look at that. So there we go. So nice animation there. Switches. Nice animations there as well. Will be exactly the same here. I'm not quite sure what this is. I did think this yesterday. I didn't know what this was. Whether they're I don't know what they are, what this is, but it's in a cover. I wonder if I can take it off. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but yeah, it's cool. Then you've obviously got the brake lever. You got your parking brake. You've got your throttle friction. Then you've got your throttle. So all in all, it's a really nice and well detailed aircraft. So again, you see the control column here as you switch and you put your roll in, and that all links into the system here. So again, it's fully automated, and I think that the level of detail in here is fantastic. You can see the cables moving there. So the level of detail they've gone into is actually really, really good and genuinely impressive. Here's the FB, and the other thing I liked about this yesterday when I looked at it is you've got a charging cable. So that charging cable that comes up into your tablet. I've not seen that on any of the other aircraft that we've used so far. And then you've obviously got the everything else here. So I'm really, really impressed with the level of detail that's gone into this. I do think it's impressive. Having only seen pictures of this aircraft before, looking at the pictures, it is quite real to life, which is really, really good. And what we'll do is once we get started, we'll switch to night mode and we'll have a look at what the nights look like as well. So we'll have a quick look at see what works and what doesn't work. So we've already seen that the dimmers work. We've seen that all these switches here work. And as we go through the flight, we'll see what doesn't work as well. We've got all these switches here, avionics master, the backup battery. We've got autopilot. So again, that's a nice little input into this. We've got an autopilot mode. So we'll try and find an ILS and a localizer and all that sort of stuff to go and fly to and have a look at. Headset toggle. So I don't know whether that's audio simulation. So we can have a look at that in a minute. GTN swap. So this is neither package detected. Okay, so I'm guessing this is a PC thing where you can actually swap your systems. Emergency generation power. So again, that'll be some sort of battery and transformer rectifier unit somewhere. And then you've got the cockpit cabin heat lever there. So everything so far works. Only found one switch that doesn't work. Everything else looks fully integrated and usable, which again is really nice. We do like to see aircraft that have everything in it. Now I did fly this yesterday. I am aware of how to start it up and that, but we will go through the checklist again. In the manual supplied by Got Friends, they don't give you the checklist. They say it's all in here. So let's have a look. Okay, pre-flight inspection. We've looked at the notepad. We've done the covers. We've done the wheel chocks. We've set our aircraft options, including doors off. We stowed our notepad. Our flaps, we've just checked those a minute ago, are retracted, and we've done the control surfaces free and cleared. We're not going to replace the GATN and we're not going to close cabin doors because we've not got any. Pause starting the engine. Okay, so again, on the real world pilot operating handbook that I found yesterday, didn't have this option. So we will open up the fuel control levers, or valve, sorry. And we'll set the master battery to on. Now let's just see if these work. So master battery's there, that's good. Navigation lights, G3X touch, G5 attitude indicator, warning system. So again, all these work as well, which is really good. Right, master battery to on. Oh, my camera's not working when I'm in EFB mode. The camera's not working at all. Hang on, let's go back. There we go. Master battery to on. Cabin lights is required, not required. Navigation lights to on. Nav lights there. Avionics master switch to on. Backup battery, we'll leave that off now. Cabin lighting not required. Avionics lighting, back-in lighting not required. G3X touch, configure. So again, we'll go on to here. This way we now start this up. So we're literally just going to do a circuit. So what we'll do, easiest way to do it is to go in here. We're at, let's go 5018, 5008, McKnight.
TOS system test, okay.
Add departure, VFR pattern, left-hand auto, change procedure, switch to VFR, and then we're going to arrive at the same place. 5008, McKnight Airfield, and we'll do add arrival. There's no arrival, we're going to go direct. We'll add approach, VFR pattern, and we'll just do the left-hand auto. So you can see there, it's brought up my nice little pattern here. And then what we'll do is we send that now to ATC and avionics, and that should have loaded in. We'll see that in a minute. Let's have a look. Let's come back out. Let's see if it's loaded in over here. Flight plan, that's just saying runway 1818, so which is fine. That's okay. Terrain, we'll see if that works in a minute, and we'll get the map, see if that works in a minute. Cool. So for now, what I'm going to do is set my squawk to VFR. Let's do it in here. Because we're in America, it is 1200, and I will leave it at 1200. Okay, so I'm happy with this at the moment. What I will do is we'll set our altitude now to 2000. We are going to go higher. We are going to have a play. And we'll just use the autopilot, just see how smooth it is. And we'll set our heading for runway 16, which is the departing runway. Let's get that done. Runway 16 is here, 160. Perfect. Okay, we'll get rid of those blue markers. Let's carry on with the checklist. So I'm happy that we've got that all set up now. G4X touch we've considered. Transponder will set to standby. So again, come over on here, and it's all done through. All done through here. Now I don't know why it's pointing to this, unless you can do it through here as well. Let's have a look. Cars transponder standby. Okay, so actually, I wish that blue. I need to work out how to get rid of that blue. So is that transferred over? So that's transferred over to that, which is good. Enter. Cool. Everything else looks good here. Let's see what this is like. Menu. So VLOC 1. Inset windows off. Bearing pointers off. Timers, which is nice. Menu. Flight controls. So again, you can do your autopilot through this as well. We'll check to see if that works in a minute during the actual flight. Menu again. Com 1, radio 1, nav 1 over 2, audio panel. Okay, cool. Back. Transponder, we've already set that to standby. Cool. Whoops. Menu. And timers it's got. Can we go up? Setup. Data bars. So again, it tells you what you can show here. Again, this is all really good bits for the aircraft here. Display. You can set your... Look at that. Cool. Nice. Sound. Enabled. Perfect. Units. Celsius, inches. I want to go hectopascals. Although we are in America, it is inches, but I like hectopascals. Weight in pounds, you usually do kilos. Fuel calculator, let's go litres. Fuel economy, nautical miles. Yeah, do that. We'll do that. Cool, so again, you can set up all that. That's nice. What else have we got here? We can set up the time, the map, and the PFD. Has it got V-speeds in it? Wind vector, we want those on. Headwind and crosswind, there you go. So you can set that there. We're not going to get that at the moment. Standard rate of turn of bank, angle indicators, HSI orientation, right side action knob. Press to toggle knob action, yeah, okay. Lateral deviation, flight path marker, which is good. Traffic, not selected. Okay, but that, again, it's just those nice little bits for this fully integrated system here. Okay, so let's carry on with the checklist. G5 attitude indicator configure. Okay, we've got that. Let's have a look at that. What does it let you do? You turn it on or off. That's nothing. And that's just going to be changing your bar out. So 29902 for us here. There we go. AOA warning system configure. So again, that's over here. It doesn't like that. So let's have a look what we can do. It's really important we go through all these, and actually if we're going to review it properly. So it doesn't tell us, so tone or voice, okay. Tone, voice, or silent. Okay, we'll go for voice. So it can shout at us. That's a nice little extra. We've done that. Secondary navigation unit, don't worry about that. Audio panel, will configure that later. And tablet configured. Perfect. Okay, start an engine. Fuel levels, verify. So we've got 50% of fuel across the entire aircraft. Half tank in each, half contents in each tank. Half our capacity. Done. Main fuel pumps on. So again, this has got two main, it says fuel pump 1 and 2. Again, what I'd like to see here is telling you what fuel pumps to put in. So do we put in pump 1, or do we put in pump 2, or do we put both? I mean, that says toggle backup, so we'll take that off. We'll have a look. So I'm guessing the main fuel pump is pump number 1 and the backup's 2, which is fine. It'll be interesting to see if this has got emergencies on it. No, it hasn't got emergencies. So I'll talk about that in a bit. ECU lane A and lane B, so that's all about the redundancy now in case one lane went down. Strobe lights to on. Taxi lights to on. Throttle lever slightly increase. So we'll increase that slightly. I'm going to switch to a HOTUS shortly. Let's go down a lot lower than that, shall we? Let's go to about 2%. I'll do 4%. Okay, so we are going to use a HOTUS shortly. We'll plug that in a bit. I'm just charging up my controller at the time. Throttle lever, clear prop. Okay. Left and right is clear. Okay, right. Now, the one thing to bear in mind, I got stuck with this a little bit yesterday, is the momentary engine start switch only lasts for 3 seconds. So you put it up, 1, 2, 3. It should come down. There you go. So if you turn that on and then do something else and your engine doesn't start, that's why. So we'll go up and start. And we've got the sound of the engine. This is good. Looking at all the dials now, looking at RPM. Going to look at oil pressure and oil temperature. Now what I've noticed in this yesterday was the oil temperature was quite slow to rise. So we have to bear that in mind. Cylinder head temperature is fine and everything else in the engine's looking normal. PO heat we're going to keep off. Cabin heat we'll keep off. Windshield to air we'll keep off. And we're going to allow the engine to warm up. We'll get the ATIS, so we'll switch quickly to see if there is an ATIS available here. If not, we'll just go for the nearest one. I can't imagine there's going to be an ATIS here. No, there isn't. We'll go on multicom. and we'll get the weather here anyway. So no winds, 1017 and 21 degrees, so no wind, 1017. We're going to stick at the moment to, let's have a look at the runway height. We'll set it QFE instead. We're going to be using runway 36 apparently, and it's 1170, so we are on the right QNH, which is fine. Okay, cool. So we're going to use runway 18. I think I set it as 16 earlier on. Did I set it 18 or 16? 16. So we'll set our heading to 180. Perfect. Okay. So that oil temperature is slowly rising. If I put the throttle up a little bit more, that will rise a little bit quicker. However, I'm expecting that to rise when I taxi. We'll go back onto the checklist. Yeah, oil temperature needs to be in the green. Okay, so what we could do here, let me just plug in my flight controls, my HOTUS right in front of me, because we'll start operating on that. Now, one thing to bear in mind is my taxiing at the moment is a little bit dodge, and the reason for that is I've disengaged the setting for my yaw because it was going a little bit crazy. Okay, so let's plug that in and turn it on. That's good. Okay, we've now got that, so I'm just going to get the throttle up a little bit more, and we'll get that engine temperature up. Okay, one thing I've just noticed, obviously these aircraft are going to be vibrating. If you have a look here, you can see the vibrations, but look at this notepad. Look at that. So just those small little details are making all the difference on this for me at the moment. Okay, so oil temperature, we are starting to rise. We will taxi to the active now, and we'll have a look and see what that is before we take off. Okay, before taxi, headphones, as desired, transponder will set to on. And we'll set it to out actually. And back. Landing lights, parking brakes and brake check will do as we're going. So we'll get the taxi lights, land lights on, there we go. Cool, oil temperature's coming up a little bit better. Okay, and now we'll taxi. So we're going to taxi to runway 16. We'll do it outside the plane and have a look. So parking brake off. I don't actually know where the runway is here, can't see it, unless this is it here. This is it here. Where is the runway? I can't really, I think it's that to the left. Let's have a look to make sure we're getting it right. Is it a grass runway? Ah, okay, there it is, look. It's only a small thing. Interesting, so it is this bit here. Oh, you can see the cones they've laid out for us, look. Okay, we'll put the parking brake on. We'll keep that temperature going. And we'll be taking off from this direction here. Again, nice little grass airfield. I do like grass airfields. We'll get that temperature up. It's still coming. It's taking a little minute. Let's go through the before takeoff checklist. Okay, parking brakes are on. ECU lane test. So we'll do 3,600 RPM. So let's get up to that. That helps heat it up as well. 3,600. Keep it coming. Just getting used to this throttle. That's met the drop. Right, so 3.6, let's take out the lane and have a look. Should be an 80 RPM drop at least. There we go. So that's fine. Lane A back in. Lane B, there's the drop. Cool, ideal, and we'll bring it back. Oil temperature is now approaching the green, which is good. Flaps as required, we're going to go flaps 1, so flaps 10. Pitch trim is neutral. Altimeter we've set, autopilot, altitude, we've selected that. Head indicator set, parking brake off, increase throttle to full for takeoff. Now the takeoff power on this is 5,500. And it's saying to take the backup fuel pump off. No, it didn't tell us to put that on. Okay, so that's something worth understanding. It hasn't told us to put that on, so that's one bit that I will feed back to the developers. Okay, check right, check left, in we go. I'm just going to put the pressure just slightly forward on the yoke as we start increasing our airspeed. Okay, hang on a minute. So that's the issue that I had with the yaw. So let me reset it. So again, I haven't got yaw on my stick. So let me just go left and right. Should be better now. I need to get the rudder pedals for this. There we go. So gradually increase. Gradually increase. There we go. That's a bit better. Controlling the yaw by buttons at the moment, which is far from ideal. Okay, full throttle. Okay, here we go. And we're up. Why has it done that? I don't think I crashed into anything. Let's try again. See what happened there. Okay, full throttle. Let's climb again. Let's do it a little bit slower. Why is it crashing me here? Why is it crashing me? Let's try over here. Why is it crashing me? There we go, we're up. What is it crashing me? I don't know. Right, let's turn off the crashes for a minute. I don't know why it's crashing me, whether it's seeing that there's something in this thing here. Let's have a look. Online, where is it? Assistance, crash detection off. Disable crash damage. Disable that. There we go. Take all that off. Let's see if this makes a difference. I mean, actually, to be fair, I'm not even taking off. I'm taking off a 90 degrees here. So where is the runway? How is it runway 16? This is confusing actually. This is the strip. It's saying that I need to turn right, and that's runway 16. That is weird. I would put this as the runway. That's definitely the runway. Right, we'll take it. Let's have a look, see if this makes a difference. Again, I'm having to fly with a button for the yaw, so it's not settled at all. See if it crashes us. There you go, it's not crashed us this time, which is a bit weird. Okay, we're up. We'll trim that now. That was very weird. Okay, the sound's good. Up we come. Angle of attack's fine. We'll trim that nicely now for a little climb. We'll have a little play with it. So system's looking good. Everything's looking in the green. I've got that usual yaw turn to the right. We'll have a little fly around to the facility here a minute, so we'll put in a left bank. And we'll just have a look. I'll take it down a little bit lower to have a look at the graphics here. Again, this is included in the package for this aircraft. So this whole scenery has been designed by Got Friends. as we come around. It gives us a chance to have a look at that runway as well. So that's looking quite smart there. So I think this whole section here, looking at it, it's this whole large square that they've done. So the scenery looks really nice. As we come around again, you can see the hangar, you see the runway just down there that we've just took off and landed on. Oh, I see the runway, look. So the runway's here. So there's two runways here. I get it. That's probably why it was crashing me. So we won't actually land. We'll have a little fly past it and have a look. It's a field landing. Okay, we won't actually touch. There you go, there's the cones. Ah, there we go. So I thought that was just a field. Cool. Right, let's go and do the circuit then. We'll have a look and we'll try the autopilot. So we'll get some power on and we'll get up. So flying it is quite nice. Tell you what we'll do before we do the landing. We'll do the landing last. We'll set on the autopilot. So again, we go to menu. I can't even read that. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll use this way. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim this up so I don't crash it whilst I'm looking down. Get some more power on it as well. And I'm just going to fly around this area for a minute. There we go. So let's get the autopilot working. So we're going to go for flight director, yaw damper, autopilot. We'll go heading. And are these not able to be used? Alt hold. Vertical speed. Up. There we go. Get some power in so we don't stall. It's climbing us up to 2,000 foot per minute nicely. Heading select. There we go. Oh, I was trying to press that, look, it's because I couldn't see it. So it'll turn us. Let's have a look at this. It's quite a it's 30 degrees of bank that it's putting in there, look. It's gone straight past it. It's interesting. It's climbing us higher than what we've set as well. So let's set alt mode. Ah, it's because it reset when we crashed, that's why. It doesn't know what we're going up to. So it's interesting it won't let me take off from the other runway, which I think is 09er. Okay, perfect. Right, well, at 2,000 feet, let's have a... So the autopilot's looking fine and working fine. Keeping us nice. Let's have a quick look outside. Looks quite cool. You got the heat from the engine exhaust as well, which is nice. Nice little touch. Engine exhaust obviously been down here. Look at that. It's pretty good. Coming out that side. It's reset all my fairings as well. Look. The wheels have still got their little spokes on them, so they didn't get any wear from the takeoff. Happy. Okay, 180 degrees, so let's go and do a circuit. And I'll tell you what I'll do. Disarm the autopilot, we'll do a stall as well. See how the stall feels on this. So, power off, gently 10 degrees up, clear below and above. So these aircraft aren't approved for spins, I don't think. Angle of attack indicator is going to go a little bit crazy in a minute. Keeping it level, keeping it level. Here comes the airspeed, and I'm going to pull up a little bit more, pull up a little bit more. There's the warning buffer. There's the nose down. Get the speed. And normal flying attitude. Cool. Right, we'll go back and land. Sounds quite good as well. Ground handling was fine. Again, me going side to side was because of my controls at the moment. I am having to control my yaw by buttons as opposed to an axis. Okay, we'll get the flaps off. We'll head back to McKnight. We'll land on runway 18, and then what we'll do an engine failure as well, simulate an engine failure and have a look, see how we get on with that. Okay, so let's get this aircraft trimmed again. There we are. A little bit of weather here. And we'll have a quick look where we are. There we go, we're heading straight for it. Heading straight back into the circuit. See it right in front of us actually, yeah. And then what we'll do is in a minute we'll disable an engine, we'll land with no engine. Okay, we're going to enter left arm downwind now. You can see these controls, I'm not that impressed with them. The HOTAS, I find them quite poor, to be honest with you. It adds to the realism, but it is quite poor. Okay, and again, I think this whole area has been redesigned by Got Friends. Be interesting to know where their boundaries were. You can just see the airport here now, look. See the airport there. Or the airfield, shall I say. I'm going to start slowing down. We're currently 1,000 feet above ground. Okay, let's have a look what the checklist says while we're stable. So in flight, we've done all that. Before landing, so land lights on, backup fuel pump on, autopilot off, pitch trim and flaps. Perfect. And then after landing, cool. So standard stuff really. So we'll get the backup pump on, which is it's on already. Cool. Ideal. So I don't like the fact that the sim changes stuff when you do crash. So obviously, as I was taking off, I'm not sure why, but it crashed 3 or 4 times as I lifted until the second time when I turned the crash settings off. So it's a bit odd. I don't know what it was, whether it was a stress on the aircraft that I was putting on. And my throttle with the HOTAS, unfortunately, have that middle bit in the middle of the throttle that does make it click in. So if I show you, I've got that click here, and it's clicked. Anything above that is almost max power. Okay, we'll slow down, we'll turn left, so quick look to the right. Into the left, and we'll start our descent slowly as we turn on to final. 1,000 feet above at the moment, want to be about 800 feet before final really. Bringing that throttle off. That's where VR would come in handy. There's the runway, I've got it. Okay, I'm in the flaps region now, so flaps 1. Bear in mind the nose is going to come up. So 10 degrees of flap set. It's only got 2 flap settings this. Well, 3. 0, 10 and 20. There's the runway, got the runway. Okay, watching these pylons here. Next set of flaps coming in. Speed's coming right down. Landing speed's going to be around 45. As I line up, I'm going to use this pylon here to line up with. Got the trees right at the start as well. Throttle's currently at idle, bringing it up a little bit more, bringing it in before I start that turn. Good height here, 700 above. $600. Got the touchdown markers, a little bit of a crosswind. Go on final and continuing, 50 knots, 400 feet, 300 feet, 200 feet, throttles at idle, nice approach, nice and stable. Flaring, looking up the runway, let it come down naturally. Still wants to fly a little bit. It was a little bit fast. Still wants to fly, looking up that runway. Nice, on the brakes slowly. A little bit of left rudder. Ideal there. It's nice and bumpy like you'd expect from a cow field. So good takeoff, good landing. So one thing I did want to do is very quickly, I'm going to, because I haven't got a lot of time left, I'm going to be quite cowboyish, and I'm going to take off from here with full flaps. Don't judge me on this, just want to get up in the air. There you go, don't judge me, and we're up. I just want to do an engine failure. Okay, up on the flaps. We'll come back round here. Quick engine failure as we come out here. I want to see how it reacts. I'm just going to cut the fuel. Okay, that's 500 feet. Okay, let's cut the fuel. Let it starve a minute. Let's try and... There we go. Engine's gone. So, quick left. And in. Keep that speed up. Keep that prop going. Or shit, saying that prop's not even spinning. It did spin yesterday when I done this. There we go. So as we come into wind, it starts to spin. Again, a nice little bit of realism there. We've got the runway. Just going to slow that down a little bit, just a tiny bit. Not going to put any flaps in yet. Okay, in my head, just doing the checklist in my head. Brakes, undercarriage, mixture, prop, flaps. Instruments, carb heat, hatches, harnesses. Okay, we've got plenty of height now. Coming down a little bit faster. Going to put the first notch of flaps in now. Second notch coming in now. There we go. The speed's coming down. That's good. That's good. Prop stopped right in my way there. As we come in. Nice flare. Nice flare. Let that landing just sink in the ground effect now. Let that landing take place. There's the bumps. That's smoother than the first one. And then just sort that out. So again, decent. So that's the flight. Engine failure was actually pretty good. The performance test, so looking at the cockpit, the texture load and the graphics are freezing. There was none of that. Control binding, all fine. The issues that I had were due to my yaw and my settings trying to take off. It'd be interesting to know why I was crashing at that point. I'll do that offline and have a look. So what do I think? Exterior modelling, looking at the pictures, I actually think this is a 9 out of 10. Personally, I think it's as good as you can get. I think some of the only things that I would like a little bit more of is a little bit more weathering. So what I'll do is I'll get on here and get inside. It's easier to show you. I would like to see a little bit more weathering on the aircraft. You can see there I've just done 2 field landings and not a single bit of dirt on the tyres. I'd also like to see like a little bit of rust around some of the rivets, or when we had the doors down earlier on. Let's get them down. A little bit of rust around here, you know, like a little bit of just realism and a little bit of corrosion. Cockpit modelling, I think, again, is really good. I've had a look at the pictures of a real world Vixxen. Again, they've obviously taken their time and done their research. Sounds as well, comparing this with only what I've seen on YouTube. I've had a look. There's not all that many videos on YouTube without music, but it is definitely a custom sound pack. And if you're getting a custom sound pack, unless you've flown this or watched videos of it in real life, you're never going to know what it sounds like. So it sounds fine. System depth, fully working in integrated navigation systems, fully integrated transponder and comm systems as well, as you'd expect from this Garmin setup here. Again, really good. The flight modeling, Again, we've just seen how it reacted in flight, reacted really well. The issue where we tried taking off a couple of times and it kept crashing, that was obviously the sim issues there. Ground handling, absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever. Documentation checklist, I think this is one of the better aircraft that you can get for that. When comparing it with the pilot operating handbook from a flying school that I got yesterday, the actual checklist in the EFB was much better, and you can tell that they're true to their word and they did scale everything around that. Performance and stability, no issues whatsoever with it at all. VR experience, I haven't tested it in VR. And value for money, we'll talk about the value for money in a minute. Let's just very quickly put the fuel on, because one thing I haven't looked at is the lights at night. So quickly toggle that on, get the throttle down, and okay, so start that engine, batteries on, that on, start. Oh, park and brake, should have done my checks. Okay, let's set it at night, have a quick look at the lights. Let's go ready by time. There we are. So let's have a look at the modelling on here. So cockpit lights we've got here. Let's set all the lights on. Let's set the cabin lights. Where are the cabin lights? Should have looked at that before I turned it on. There we go. Cabin dimmer. That's 100. Where are the cockpit lights? Probably should have looked at that before I turn this on. Where are we? Let's have a look here. Pre-flight inspection. So I can't see it there. Cabin lights as required. Where are those? Okay, right in front of me. Silly Billy. Cabin lights. Let's go back here. Again, these are dimmable. Yeah, see that? MFD brightness are good. I like quite a dark cockpit if I'm flying it. Let's have a look at the lights outside. So we'll go individual lights at first. So we'll go nav lights. Let's have a look at those. Again, really good reflection on the ground. And again, if we go inside and come out a minute and have a look at these wings. And come up. It's not letting us do it very well, we'll ignore that. Okay, so nav lights are good. Good pattern on the ground. Let's have a look at the strobes. Again, really, really nice. Coming from the end of the nav lights. Let's look at the wig-wag lights. These are the ones that turn on and off. There we go. Taxi lights. We care about those more in here than outside. We'll have a look. There we go. Not the brightest going forward, but they've got right in front of the wheels, which way you need them. And we'll look at landing lights a minute. And again, there's the wig-wags. So turn off the wig-wags. And they should be static. There we go. Again, not as bright as you'd see, but again, you can see them. You can see them operating. You can see them at the front. There they are. Look. And you can see. Look at the. You can see their LED, but look at the way that it shines across. Really, really good. Really detailed. And you can tell obviously they're channeled. So, value for money. It's £22. Would I pay £22 for it? I think based on what I've seen yesterday and what I've done today, yes, I would. I think it's a really highly detailed aircraft. I think they've put a lot of time, a lot of thought into it. And I think at £22, if you are a GA flyer, this is definitely on comparison with the Coronado 172 that's also available on PS5 Marketplace. I don't think they need to do any updates to it. I think everything works fine as we've seen. I think the issues with the sim was definitely my sim, but I don't expect them to make any improvements to it at the moment, unless they bring out more variants or liveries or whatever. I think it is now the finished article. So I do think that actually the aircraft itself is one of those aircraft that I do think is worth every penny that you spend on it, because it's so immersive. They've obviously done a lot of hard work, and they have done a fantastic job on it. So I'll set this back to light mode if we can. There we are. Let's get back in. So all in all, a fantastic aircraft, worth the money. If you do like your GA stuff, I recommend it. And that is it. That is the Aeroprakt A-32 Vixxen review. If you do want to post your comments on what you think about this, please do put it in the comment section. I will reply when my phone or my iPad gives me the notification. At the moment it's a little bit slow with that. But thank you very much for watching. Take care.